Welcome back, everybody. I got to say, the last CBSI #1 on the top 10, Stray Dogs #1, that's a worthy contender. I was looking up the prices on eBay. It's starting at $100 for the A cover. So I'm going to go on record. I think if you picked up Stray Dogs #1 in February, like, not only did you win the comic books lottery for February, I think you might have picked up the comic of the year. This could be the Something is Killing the Children. So have I got my work cut out for me? But here's the thing, like, normally I only spend $25 or less. It's getting really hard to do that. Comics with inflation is going up. It's getting expensive. So if the least I have to spend is $100 to get a Stray Dogs #1 near mint, how about if I could spend $100 on any horror title from the past? What would it be? Well, I gave it some thought. Let's see, like this, House of Mystery 174, super key issue. Back in '68, this is when DC went back to the mystery format. 3 years before the Spider-Man drug issue. So this was kind of like the first challenge to the Comics Code Authority. Very key issue. $100 will probably get you about a 2.0. Not much, because it is a fairly valuable comic. This one, I was surprised to see some of this sneak by on eBay lately. 175, the next issue. First appearance of Kane the Caretaker, who is appearing in Sandman, I believe. So that's getting to be an expensive issue. I don't think you're going to find that sneaking by under the radar for long, but if you can get it for a nice copy for $100 or less, do it. I would. Anyway, that's me. Next one I really thought of. 213, another beautiful Bernie Wrightson cover. Fantastic, iconic cover. You can still get that for under $100, even in pretty nice condition. But what I decided on was 204. So House of Mystery 204. Again, Bernie Wrightson is so incredible with the inks, and he was an amazing horror artist, like one of the best. But the thing is, there's another first American appearance in this of another artist. The name of the story is To Die for Magda. It's just one of the stories in here, but it is the first American publishing of quite a well-known artist, and that artist is Alex Nino. Now, who is Alex Nino, you ask? Well, time for a history lesson, kids. Let's go back to New York in the 1970, as a matter of fact. The price of a comic had jumped from 12 cents to 15 cents. Fans were outraged, rioting in the streets. No, I'm just kidding. But fans weren't happy, and Carmen Infantino, who was the head honcho over at National Publications, or what we now know as DC Comics, was facing challenges. Where was it? Oh yes, the challenge of page rates. So Carmen, being the astute businessman he was, he had a young Filipino artist named Tony DeZuniga hired. And very talented artist. Actually, Tony DeZuniga helped co-create Jonah Hex, one of their DC's most popular Western characters. On a side note, I actually met the late Tony DeZuniga a number of years ago at the Calgary Convention and Comic Expo, and I picked up 2 pieces off of him. This Jonah Hex, limited to 50. I believe that's 18 of 50. And also an original pencil sketch of Red Sonja, which is really cool. Super enjoy that. That's great. Super nice man. His wife was there. Um, yeah, one of my favorite purchases. Anyway, so here's young Tony DeZuniga coming over to America for the American Dream. And in case you don't know, like comic books were brought over to the Philippines World War II. A lot of the American soldiers, GIs stationed there, brought them over, and it left a lasting impact. So what happened? Philippines discovered comics, and their comics is with a K, so it's the comic scene, and they started making their own. But yeah, the Filipinos were doing it very well. Um, ink was super huge there because, unlike American comics, a lot of the Asian comics are black and white on the interior. Now, for like Warren magazines, like the Creepy Eerie, Vampirella, it's all black and white inside. It's basically ink. The reason of this is it's cheaper, right? So you have a nice Frank Frazetta freaking beautiful cover, full paints, but inside it's just black and white ink. Some artists excel at that. I find if you look at Wrightson's black and white art, it is amazing. It's almost like the color does it a disservice. Same with a lot of the Filipino artists. They were used to black and white. They're fantastic inkers. But anyway, here's Tony DeZuniga. Comes over 1970, finds work with DC, has no issue with their page rates at that time, and Carmen Infantino basically must have thought he had discovered a gold mine here. So in 71, he goes over with DeZuniga back to the Philippines because Tony's convinced him, you know, there's a whole bunch more like me over there. Guys that love to come to America, practice their craft, and you can get them for like really cheap rates, right? So, and hey, it's been the story ever since. You know. But anyways, so Carmen goes over with Tony DeZuniga back in 71. He meets with Nestor Redondo, Alfredo Acala, Alex Nino was in there, I believe. And then I'm not sure if that time, but later came Ernie Chan, Jerry Talawak, Romeo Tangal, and one of my favorites that most people don't know is Afonio Reyes Cruz, or E.R. Cruz. I love that guy's ink work. But yeah, so you had the Pinoy invasion of comic book artists into DC and later Marvel in the 70s. And their work is so different from anything else you see. Like, it's very distinctive style, something like almost like an alien influence to like a young child who's used to superhero books, and all of a sudden it's like, boom, this is different. But the most different of these, in my opinion, is Alex Nino. Alex Nino has the most distinctive style, especially his children. Like, once you see an Alex Nino child, you know right away who it is. Let's have a look at, this is the original art splash page for Creepy 94's Backwaters and Timing Circles. The first thing you'll notice is incredibly lovely detailed ink work, and just that panel composition is so revolutionary and new and different than anything else you might have seen in American comics at the time. It has that slightly alien feature to it as well, so you can see why Alex Nino is such a well-remembered artist, especially from the 70s. It's just fantastic. And if anybody sees a Creepy 94, let me know, because I'm still looking for that one. Anyways, let's get back to the comparison. So a lot of times when I'm doing these comparisons, it's the hype train. It's the hot property of the month or the week, whatever, right? Stray Dogs is a little different. I think that one actually does, with the animated feature coming from Paramount Pictures, it does have the potential to be like a Something is Killing the Children. That doesn't mean it will. But you know, I may look back at this a year and say, you know, why didn't I buy it for $100? Right? I'm like, oh my goodness, what a bargain. But then again, maybe not. Right? So yeah, it's this is a tough one. This is I do want to read it. And I will be picking up the trade paperback in September, just to read it and see what it's about. I hear it's an excellent story, but I also say that this in great shape is worth $100 too. So right now on eBay, I was able to find two House of Mystery 204s that I think would be a good deal. One's a CGC 8.0 for basically $99, so about the same price as your Stray Dogs one. And the CGC 8.0, that's what it is. The other was something called from the Fisherman Collection, which I've never heard of, but the seller seems to be have a really good rating. They're calling that a 9.2 for $99.9 US as well. So again, about the same price. So these very difficult to get in high grade, just A, because of their age from 1972, B, that black cover is a bugger. So if that's really a 9.2 for $100, I think if you could get a CBCS or CGC 9.2 out of that, yeah, definitely worthwhile. But again, Stray Dogs, great series. May take the industry by storm. Who knows? So that's why we try and make it interesting here on Spec versus Rec. This one's definitely a level playing field, I think. For that $100 price tag, you've got a couple strong contenders. So basically, like an old sort of forgotten versus the hot new property of the day. Only time will tell. But again, just it's an interesting discussion. I'm not laying bets here. It's just of course I own one, and I hope to see it do well, and I'm happy to own it. But I would love to own Stray Dogs #1 too, and I'm so sad that I missed out on that opportunity. But like I said, I'll pick up the trade paperback and I'll read it and I'll figure out what it's about. So we'll see what will happen. If you see like these old House of Mystery titles, especially the ones with the Filipino artists, like any of those, like check them out. It's pretty cool stuff. So anyways, till next time, thanks for watching, everybody. And hey, look, I got my Gunsmith Cats, some comics up on the wall there as well. So happy to see that, and I'll be looking for those in the future as well. Anyways, bye for now, everybody.